Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we are continuing on with mods, tools, and add-ons, so stick around guys, hopefully you'll find something you'll enjoy. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below. First on our list is a tool that I talked about a week and a half ago that was updated today, and that is the Runway Selector tool. It was having a bit of an issue with a Python bug that has been hopefully fixed. Some things that I want you guys to be aware of is it also does retrieve live MEDAR data to get the wind direction for a given airport. This is an extremely handy tool. I find myself using it more and more ever since I found it, especially when flying VFR and in areas that I am unsure of. New airfields, things you've never been. It's really awesome. You just drop it in, drop in your IC, or start the app, drop in your ICAO, and then as long as you leave the wind empty, it will automatically calculate what it is according to live data and then tell you what the closest and most correct runway is. Really, really cool tool. Very simple tool, but I promise you it adds quite a bit and takes a lot of the legwork out. Next is the Cessna 208B mod. This is a modification that I have been following for quite a while now, and as you can see here in this latest version, I'm not going to go through these guys, but I'm going to let you guys feel free to pause the screen, take a look. There is a ton of adjustments to this particular mod. We are definitely going to be flying this today, or sorry, some point this week, and checking out this aircraft. I mean, it is absolutely, this is a massive update, and I'm super excited to give this aircraft another shot. I had let it go for quite a while because every time I tried to learn it based on Pilot's Operational Handbook, it wasn't matching up, numbers weren't correct, and so I ended up jumping on to other things. But with this latest enhancement, I am absolutely going to be diving back into this aircraft because this is fantastic. Absolutely a beautiful update. Again, please feel free to pause the screen, take a look at it. A link, as always, will be down in the description below, but definitely give it a shot, guys. The Robinson R44 by Rotor Sim Pilot was also updated for Sim Update 8. Now, it was updated a few days prior to, as you can see here, but I wanted to make sure it hit the list so everyone knew that it was, in fact, updated to be compatible. So, again, the latest note was to make sure that this was updated prior to Sim Update 8. So, if you find yourself in a situation where you are struggling with the R44 or it's giving you any kind of issues, be sure to come here and update your aircraft. If you have not tried the R44, definitely make sure you grab this. This is an amazingly done helicopter. The graphics and textures and sound and performance and flight model of the aircraft, all of them just make it an absolutely amazing addition to your Microsoft Flight Simulator hangar. And the best part about the whole shebang is it is 100% completely free. This aircraft, like many of the freeware aircraft, blows away, absolutely destroys many of the payware aircraft. If I were to say that helicopter should be premium, this would definitely be on the list. It is a premium aircraft for a freeware price. Many of us, I know, are saddened by the breaking of, once again, of the TBM 930 improvement mod by Mix Mugs. The TBM 930, I have made no secret, is probably my first go-to aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I take any excuse to fly it that I can. I even did a VFR flight in the TBM a couple weeks ago just because I wanted to fly the TBM. Unfortunately, it is currently broken. Now, results I've noticed are mixed. Get it? Mixed Mugs. Anyway, the crash to desktop seems to be the biggest problem that's coming from the TBM 930. However, it seems to be pretty inconsistent as to when it happens. I can tell you that Mixmugs is absolutely working on it, but we do need to be patient. This is a hobby for him. It is not his full-time job. Obviously, then the old 9 to 5 comes first, and then taking care of everything else, and everyone also needs some downtime to relax. We do need to be patient. He does have an update available. It's just a matter of, I guess there's been some difficulty uploading it and getting it released for public use, but I can promise you guys that it is being worked on, it is being addressed, and we should see, hopefully, everyone allowing mixed mugs of the time, we'll get an update to the TBM 930 improvement mod, because I know that I love it, and I'm sure that many of you do as well. So just give Muggs a tip if you can, give him some time, and I'm sure we'll see a fantastic release from him once again. Sky Dolly reached version 0.9 this week with a pretty significant update as far as performance and overall handling. Make sure that you guys take a moment once again to pause this because this brings up some pretty cool assembly here for this application. The aircraft selection is now edible. I like this a lot, meaning that basically you can change the aircraft that's being used in a replay, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I'm not 100% sure on how that works in regard to formation flying, if that's something that you guys are interested in. But I talk about Sky Dolly pretty frequently. The other thing I really enjoyed, the spoiler position is now properly displayed in percent value, and the leading edge and trailing flaps positioned are now higher degree precision. So we're going to see that the exterior surfaces and control surfaces of the aircraft are going to better match what they were when you started the recording in replay. Again, Sky Dolly is another one of those programs that should absolutely be a payware application, and it is not. It is completely free. It is the best flight recorder that I have seen yet for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I have tried many others. There have been some really good ones, but I think this one just always takes the cake. It seems to offer the least amount of resistance with use, the most user-friendly. The UI is very simple to understand and navigate. It has the formation flight replay option. Basically what that means is that you take a flight, you record it, then you can go back and either position yourself as a wingman or in a formation position. Let me see if I can, there it is, there's that screenshot right there. Okay, so you can put yourself either back in the center aircraft, or you can position, I believe, any of these aircraft. I don't think there's a limit to how many aircraft you can add back in, but you can add multiple aircraft in. And for example, let me give you an example of use here, would be if you wanted to create like a Blue Angel simulation. You wanted to fly, you know, in a close 5 formation or something like that, do some really cool stuff. You can position these aircraft in these positions as you see here. So if you want down here, you know, oops, didn't mean to do that. If you wanted to put an aircraft here, maybe you want it to be this plane right here. You could also change the distance both vertically and horizontally compared to the recorded aircraft, and then do another recording, or maybe do some sort of cinematic or something. So it's a really cool feature. I haven't really messed around with it too much, but I fully intend to in the future. It is a really, really amazing application, and again, I can't stress it. I love being able to say the words. It is free and beats most payware software that I've seen out there that does what it does. This is a mod that I talked about the other day when I was addressing what aircraft was it that I was talking about? The King Air 350i by JD. He added the YUAS Lighting mod to his mod. Now, I wanted to make sure to go through what this mod was as a whole. Now, this is found on a GitHub link, but it has many, many aircraft that it adjusts the lighting to, both nose wheel lights, landing lights, you name it, exterior position lights, things like that. It just makes the overall lighting much better. It makes the tone much more accurate, as well as the illumination that is provided by the lights is greatly enhanced through this modification. It really makes a huge difference on how your aircraft both looks externally and how the lighting looks in the sim. So make sure you guys absolutely check this out. This is another big one that I definitely recommend. It covers a ton of different aircraft, and I really think that you're going to enjoy the difference in comparison between the two. And I do recommend that you do that. Go into the sim right beforehand. Launch up a couple aircraft at night, turn on their landing lights, turn on your taxi lights, really get an idea of what the illumination looks like, pay attention to the color tone, and then load this mod in and see it for yourself. And I promise that you'll really enjoy the difference, especially even the halos. I mean, when you're looking at the landing lights, I think the one that I was using was that 350i as an example. The landing lights, and you go to the external view with this mod in, it literally blinds you. I mean, the whole nose is gone when you see it, and that's how it should be. Those are very powerful lights. There's a reason why when an airliner comes in to park at the gate, they turn their nose wheel light off before making that turn so they don't blind everybody on the ground. And this definitely does a great job of simulating that. Another aircraft that's worth noting that's on this list is definitely the A32NX. So if you're an A320 pilot and you want to have that real powerful lighting system, this is definitely the way to go. And last on our list, this is an aircraft I like to cover quite a bit because it really is coming a long way thanks to this improvement project. Now, the Rockwell Labourer, I hope I say that right, CL215. It is a payware aircraft. I need to start out with that portion. You have to buy the plane first, and then you can use the enhancement. Now, the aircraft is a payware, and I'm going to be rather blunt. The payware version of the aircraft in its base format is lacking a lot. Everything from sounds to performance to textures. It goes back to what we've been talking about the freeware aircraft continuing to dominate. And this is unfortunately no exception. However, thank goodness this is a free enhancement. And it is absolutely fantastic in really turning this aircraft into a ton of fun. Everything from the internal to some external textures, the water textures, the water effect that comes with this add-on is fantastic. For those of you who don't know what this aircraft is, it's a fire bomber. It's a water dropper. Water bomber, fire bomber. I always call them fire bombers. Now, some of the modifications that are used, I'll let you guys pause and go through that, but there are a ton of fixes right off the bat, enhancements and things of that nature. Now, if we go down, take a look at the change logs and how this aircraft has been developing, it's been quite significant. And lately now we're starting to get into windshield materials being done. The overhead panel has almost been completely redone. It looks like night and day. And what's interesting about it is that when they did this, the overhead panel, as you can see here, the way the textures were written, it actually changed a lot of the things down on the pedestal. Now, I found that to be kind of odd. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but when I put it in there, like night and day, you notice it right away, especially in the morning and evening lighting when you get those real cool lighting effects that are already coming into the cockpit. The new windshield material replacement made a massive difference in how you feel as you're sitting in the cockpit looking out the window. Their developments are changing everything from true hydraulic and electrical performance, water effects, textures, to depth of the cockpit panel. The cockpit panel in the base version feels very 2D, very, I don't know, just plain. They are doing some amazing work with this particular aircraft, and it's really turned it into something that's a ton of fun. So my initial presentation of this aircraft was that we probably should wait a little while before you purchased it. Thanks to these developers, and I don't know how I feel about saying this because it feels like, credit's not being delivered where credit is due to those who deserve it. And you guys will know what I mean here in a second, but thanks to this mod, I would absolutely say buy this aircraft and then immediately download the enhancement for it, and you will definitely enjoy it. The engine sounds are absolutely fantastic now. I'm sure there's still a bit of tweaking to be done here, but it's just, you guys will have to understand what I'm talking about. And if you really want to get the true effect and you purchase this aircraft, fly it in its default state, then add the enhancement and you'll know right away. So I wanted to make sure to get these guys up on the list here. The latest development was back on the 27th, but I haven't spoken about it since, and I figured this was a good time to do so. Again, these guys absolutely get my 2, 4, however many thumbs I can come up with, thumbs up here. And I definitely recommend this aircraft with the enhancement modification. You also get some new liveries and things like that you can use, and it's a lot of fun to use in things like NeoFly, where you can actually simulate true fire conditions where the tanker is needed. So you can really have a lot of fun with it, guys. Anyways, that is going to wrap up today's mods, tools, and add-ons update, guys. I hope that you are enjoying this series. We're going to keep it moving as things continue to progress and as mods continue to be updated. So far, me personally, I've been pretty pleased with Sim Update 8. I've noticed a pretty significant performance improvement once in the cockpit. I haven't noticed much of a difference in loading times, something like that outside of that, but definitely while in the cockpit, I am seeing a difference in the performance of the simulator, so that is nice to see. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe and healthy, and as always, I will see you in the next one.